Activities have been a part of the Saints Row franchise since the very first game and have always played an integral part of the franchise. If missions are the meat, then activities are the potatoes because they go hand in hand. Since the reboot is still 6 months away and we are still a little bit away from the next time we hear some news on the game, I thought today would be the perfect time to compile my top 5 list of activities I feel need to return to the series. Before we get onto the list, I just want to say that this is my opinion and strictly my own thoughts. Some of these activities you hear on the list might be considered a hot take in your eyes, especially when you hear what number 2 is. But yeah, let me have my opinion and you have yours. Please refrain from telling me to kill myself until after you've watched the video. Well, now that that's out of the way, it's now time because this is
the top 5 activities that need to return in the reboot.
Starting with number 5, we have the Hitman activity, a series classic that has found its way into every numbered game in the series. In SR1, it started out pretty basic and honestly kinda bad. I mean, there's no real way to bait the targets out, you just kinda know the general area. Once you get there, you have to wait and wait and wait and wait and and wait until they finally spawn so you can get that kill. Just make sure you use the weapon they tell you to use, otherwise you're gonna be having a bad day. In Saints Row 2, they vastly improved on this activity, making it very clear on what you have to do in order to bait the target out. Wear a wife beater to bait out the trailer park bum. Head to the nightclub dance floor and wait for a poop to pop his head in. It was a nice switch up from the awful RNG system of SR1, but at the same time still offered a decent challenge due to the very specific things you'd have to do in order to bait out a target. In Saints Row the Third, I feel they dumbed the activity down a little too much. In fact, when you select your target, you're then prompted to follow directions on the map to exactly the location where you're supposed to go, in which the target will usually just spawn within a minute or so. It was way too easy in SR3. In Saints Row 4, it was again switched up and extremely easy to find the target, although they increased the challenge of actually putting the target down. But somehow it truly didn't feel like the classic Hitman activity we know and love. The one feature I absolutely loved about SR4's rendition of the activity is the fact that each enemy was unique. Kill the Minecraft dude, Skeleton dude, Julius, the old players from SR1 and 2, that was the coolest part. I'd love to see Hitman return in the new game with a hybrid system of SR1, SR2, and SR4 if possible. Take a little bit of what made each rendition of the activity good and cram it into one peanut butter and Hitman sandwich.
3, 2, 1, go!
Number 4 on the list is Demolition Derby, one of my all-time favorite activities that usually doesn't get a second eye from the public. I feel I'm in the minority saying this activity is in my top 5, but I just love the way it plays, and in SR1 it's very satisfying to blow up enemies, and it even offers a good challenge when you get to the later rounds. In Saints Row 2, they improved it vastly, making you able to upgrade your cars in between round levels, giving the player a deeper sense of immersion and progression as you make your way through the levels. It's a shame we haven't seen the activity since SR2. In Steelport, it could have easily taken place inside the dome where Murder Brawl took place. Oh well, hopefully the reboot adds the activity as it would kind of fit the Wild West vibe of the world.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It's time for number 3, and this is where the list could become controversial for some. At number 3, I have Fuzz. Yes, you heard me, Fuzz. Without a doubt, one of the most fun activities in the entire franchise, and we only got to see one rendition of it inside of Saints Row 2. The gameplay offers very unique scenarios and hilarious moments where you end up doing the most random shit for some footage. The cameraman running around getting footage of you killing people in the masses is just as hilarious as it was when I first played it back in 2008.
Never seen police work like this.
As I got older, I learned to appreciate the beauty in Fuzz. Ah yes, kill away you crazy crooked cop, kill away. Number 2 on this list for me personally is racing. Yeah, you heard me, racing. This activity for me is big time. I'm a car guy, and I've always appreciated Saints Row's car customization features in all its games. They have always had one of the best car customization in any open world game I've played. In Saints Row 1, the activity was very grounded, and whatever car you'd start the activity with, the opponents would have equally competitive cars to make it fair. It was a blast to make quick dashes around corners, have mini heart attacks when spinning out or crashing, or having my frame rate just bug out. Oh, SR1. It offered a decent challenge, and each race featured was that of a mini circuit with multiple laps on a fairly simple course. In Saints Row 2, they elaborated on the races quite a bit and made some adjustments to not only the actual races, but the type of races depending on what instance of the activity you start up. I wasn't a huge fan of the changes. In this game, the races are usually point to point rather than the lap-based circuits like in SR1, and overall made the activity seem a lot easier due to the courses being very open and easy to traverse rather than the tight cornered courses in SR1. Another thing I wasn't the biggest fan of is that in SR2 they strayed away from strictly land races and introduced in air and water races as well. Those races were pretty much against the clock and again didn't offer that much of a challenge. I preferred the more grounded street racing vibe. I always found that in Saints Row the 3rd, they missed a very big opportunity to bring back racing and evolve the activity even further from what we've seen already. Call me crazy, but I like Saints Row the 3rd's driving mechanics probably the most out of any game in the series. You could stop on a dime, drift around corners, and turning felt solid in sports cars. Yeah, the racing would have been awesome in this game, I can't even lie. Fast forward to Saints Row 4, and its version of racing is, well, cool, I guess. Definitely not the racing I prefer, and this instance of the activity honestly resembles trailblazing more than racing, but I guess that's why it's called blazing, right? In the new game, I really hope this activity comes back with a hybrid system of both SR1 and SR2. Maybe you start with a slower version of a car of your choosing, and every level you slowly upgrade your cars, just like how you did in the Demo Derby instances of SR2. Every level slowly getting harder and the opponents becoming faster and more skilled at taking corners and such. It would be cool, and the desert theme of the map would fit perfectly with the whole outlaw street racers at night thing they could introduce.
3, 2, 1.
Coming in at the #1 slot for the activity I need to see return into the new game is none other than Fight Club. Did you really expect a different answer? I mean, come on. It's generally considered to be an absolute fan favorite, and the SR2 rendition of the activity is near perfect. It offers a great challenge, especially when spectators throw foreign objects in the ring to be used against you, or when you get to the harder levels and multiple guys are ganging up on you to finish you off. Wait, that didn't sound right. You could switch up your fight style to always keep the rounds fresh and feeling unique from one another. One round I'm a muscle brawler, the next I'm a jiu-jitsu master. I had such a blast going back to record this footage of this activity, not to mention the atmosphere was perfect, so grungy and underground looking. It really gave you that secret hardcore Fight Club vibe. You know, the one you're not supposed to be talking about. Don't even get me started on SR4's Fight Club. Playing this from the very first time, I knew this wasn't the true Fight Club we all know and love. Yeah, it's cute bringing back old characters and all, but nostalgia ain't gonna put you over this time, Saints Row.
Now a blast from the past, Julius Little!
Oh no, we want that SR2 Fight Club sexiness. There's no better time to implement this into the new game. It's already been confirmed that one of the businesses you can build in Santo Aleso is a dojo. So what better way to train your skills than at the fighting academy? Hopefully the dojo pretty much confirms the return of this activity, and maybe they'll evolve Fight Club as well. I mean, why go as far as to have a dojo in the game that says Fighting Academy on the front with a giant Ronin logo if you aren't going to be able to fight and possibly upgrade your abilities after every instance of the activity? Maybe a sleeping dogs type system where you find collectibles around the city, and when you bring them back to the dojo you unlock new moves. Now that would be awesome and could make sense considering you always unlock different side missions from each business you built. Some honorable mentions that didn't make the top 5 but are still some of my favorites are Crowd Control. It was always fun to protect the celebrities of Stillwater from crazy fans. Chop Shop / hijacking. I found that SR1's hijacking was a lot more enjoyable than any rendition of the Chop Shop and actually offered a great challenge when you got to the last couple rounds. I really loved how in SR4's version of Chop Shop, every vehicle you'd steal would be a unique vehicle that you wouldn't normally see spawn in traffic. It gave the activity a sense of prestige every time you unlocked a unique vehicle. Professor Genki's super ethical reality climax, because who doesn't love murdering furries? And Septic Avenger. It was fun to spray poo all over Stillwater's buildings and law enforcement. Some
Dishonorable mentions of activities I'd like to never see return again
are Guardian Angel, Heli Assault, Guardian Angel, Pledge Rush, Guardian Angel, Genki's Mind Over Murder, Tiger Escort, and Guardian Angel. Another feature about activities I think we really need to see are the opening cutscenes that introduce you to why you're doing these outlandish things in the first place. It's a good way to make the world feel immersive, and it's also a good way to get some of the secondary, less thought out characters their 10 seconds of fame.
the hell is wrong with you? Wait.
It's always a place to have returning minor characters to make a cameo too. So yeah, let's hope activity cutscenes make a return as well. Let's also hope that each activity location has multiple instances that go up from level 6 or 8, so they can offer the player a legitimate challenge. Not only that, but every couple rounds reward the player with a unique reward for completing X amount of instances of a certain activity. For example, if we were to finish one location fully of Snatch, we'd unlock a Pimp Cane shotgun. Unique rewards are things players really want to see return for the new game. So let's make it happen. But yeah, there you have it. Papa RPG's top 5 list of activities that need to return in the new game. Does your list differ from mine? If so, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to join my Discord server if you haven't got a chance, as the RPG Nation is slowly becoming a nice, well-rounded community. Until next time, this has been your host, your papa, your father, your compadre, your coworker, RPG, saying peace out, bitch.